Hey guys, it's MysteriousGoofBall and welcome back to another Redstone tutorial. In this video we're going to be looking at the skeleton XP farm that I designed. Now the special thing with this is that it actually has sort of a mob counter, which when there are exactly 21 skeletons in here, then it will actually stop any more from falling in, so that you can kill those 21 and not have the max entity cramming problem that you have with spawners now, where if too many drop in, then the whole lava, I think it's called a lava blade circuit. The lava blade circuit will kill any that have even just a little bit of damage because it gets them down to as low health as possible. Now if there's too many in here, they start taking damage, then they're just all going to die when you try to get them down to 1 health, so you almost have to guess. So I designed this so that I no longer have to guess, where it gets 21 and then it activates and it stops it from letting more in, and also not only that is it will actually keep any from falling in until every single one is dead, and then once all entities are off of that pressure plate, then it'll let some more in. So it's got some special features. And also if for some reason like you hit them and maybe you press the button, they all go up in the lava and like none are on the pressure plate for a little while, then it actually has a little bit of a cooldown back here, which keeps it from resetting and going back to letting skeletons in until a little bit of a cooldown has activated. And so if anything drops back on the pressure plate during that cooldown, it will actually reactivate. Alright, so you're going to need a 5x6 area. This is going to be the front of your build, and on the very edge right here you're going to go up 3 blocks and out 1 like that, and that is where the skeleton's going to be standing on top of. And then where, if you want to go by the top, which will be where the skeleton's going to be dropping out from, this is going to be the little tunnel that they'll drop out from, and they're going to go down just like this. You have like a 2-block tunnel or something like that. They're going to drop down and go down a little pipe, which you can build later, onto this pressure plate. And your dispenser is going to be right here. But first, before we get to the dispenser and the lava stuff, we're going to do the blue circuit, which is the max entity cramming circuit, which will keep them from flowing in too fast. And so we want a comparator going to a block just like that. Down the side here, we're going to put a piece of redstone. We're going to go down a block and do a 2x2 square block like this. Put a comparator here, repeater there. You're going back like this, and then a comparator running into this comparator. And when we put a furnace right here with about half a stack of blocks, then that will lock it until there are 20 entities on this pressure plate. As you can see, it is not activating, but if we were technically to break that, it will activate because it's not getting a signal in there. But if we put this back, also put 2 pieces of redstone there, you can see it will not activate anything until there are exactly 21 entities, which I will show later. Last thing you want to do is you want to put a block right here with the repeater running into this comparator on the other side. Block up like that, 2 blocks here with the redstone on top, and that is the blue circuit all done. The next thing we need to build is the cooldown circuit, which is the orange circuit. We're going to put a block there with a repeater running in that direction. It's going to go into this 4x2 area. It's going to be a block here, here, and here. You're going to have a comparator running into the same block the repeater is, and right here on the other side you're going to have a comparator running in that direction. Put redstone on those 3 blocks and right here, and also a torch right there, and this will be sort of your output, and this will lead to your fence gate or piston, which will block off the skeletons from dropping in once this gets full. Now all of this will work. You can just keep it like this, and you can have them actually drop from a high height, which most people do is they have them go up a tube and then they'll drop from about, like, I think it's 31 or 21 blocks, something like that. That'll get them down to 1 hit. So you can do that, and you can use this to keep them from falling in and doing the max entity cramming. But if you want to use lava blade, what you're going to do is you're going to put a block on top of this comparator, just like that, with a piece of redstone on top. You're going to put your block here, which is going to have your button on it. So have whatever your wall is made up of, that is going to be the block you want to put there. And right here you're going to put a block, and right here you're going to put a block. Here we're going to put a slab so that this redstone doesn't affect anything, mainly this piston right here. We'll put a block on top of that, 2 blocks here and a block there. You're going to have a repeater running this direction on 4 ticks repeater running this direction on 3 ticks, redstone and redstone, and that is one piece of it. If we click this or press it, then you can hear 1 click, but we need the other part, which we will do now. We will put a redstone torch there. If you're using the video in the description, your floor to your mob farm is going to be right here, so this gets in the way a little bit, but as long as you use the solid block here, you actually have a little bit of a gap. You can put a block here and here, repeater running into this block, which also needs to be a solid block and will be part of the mob spawner floor. And then you'll put a redstone there, and when we press the button, you actually hear 2 clicks. And if we put a lava bucket in here, then we can actually see it dispenses lava, and since it brings it back in so fast, we don't have to worry about it flowing anywhere, and it's actually just fine where it is because lava flows kind of slowly. Now the last part of this red circuit is you want to put a block right here and a block right here. We'll put a repeater there, so now whenever you press the button, it'll actually activate the mob entity cramming system. So if we had any entities on here, it would actually activate everything until we actually take that off. So if you only have a few skeletons on there, but you only need a little bit of XP left, you don't have to wait for it to go all the way through to activate it and have this close up and everything. All you gotta do is press the button whenever you want and it'll work just fine. Now the last thing you need to do is just sort of decorate and put in your wall, and also you will need to put in a trapdoor, or not a trapdoor, a fence gate or a piston, which I will show you one way to do that. So we get our floor in here, and we get our tunnel here, get that all built up just like that, and now the skeletons will just drop right in. You can decorate this however you want, but I would suggest putting slabs here, especially if you're using the video in the description, because if you don't, it will actually let light in. And I would also suggest, if you're using that, don't put glass here. I will show you another design in a minute on how to do this differently, so that it might be a little bit better for spawn rates, but it will be a little bit more complicated, hard to build, and a tiny bit more expensive. Now the last thing we need to do is the circuit for the fence gate or piston. If you're using a fence gate, all you gotta do is you go right in here. You probably want to have your spawner lit up during this whole thing so nothing falls on you. You can put your fence gate here, but if you are using this for maybe zombies, which it will work for zombies, it just won't get them down to 1 hit unless you use a sword, just because of how the lava blade works. Then you probably, if you're using this for zombies, you want to put it down 1 block just in case baby zombies come in and they won't fall through since they're 1 block. Now to wire it up, it's hard to get over into this area without having redstone show, but the best way to do it is just to put a piece of redstone there, and if we cover this up, you can see that nothing can really get into that area unless a baby zombie was somehow lucky to get in there, but nothing's really going to get in there. And also, if you have your fence gate here, one problem is the water that's flowing in. It will just stop the water flow. Even when it's open, the zombies or skeletons will probably just stay here. So if you want to have it back a block, you would have to put it up, or you can put a piston right here. But for now, we're just going to be using the fence gate on the bottom block, just like this, and we'll wire it up like that. So we're going to make our little wiring system here. If we were to do this, let's just test it out real quick. Oh, that's a problem. Let's just do that. We can hear the fence gate open. When it's off, it'll be closed. So we want to make sure that since there are no entities on here and it's not activated, we want this line to be powered. Now our floor is going to come to right about here, and we also will have a wall going around, something like that. So if we just let's put that there, we put this like that, and since this is being powered by a block, we want to put a repeater on top. Piece of redstone there, that'll go into this block, which will have a torch on top. And then if we were to go just like that, we can have a piece of redstone and everything's powered. Now if you were to press the button, you would hear it close, and then no entities are in there, and it'll open back up once there are no entities. Now this does show a little bit, you have a little bit of some stuff sticking out, but if you were just to cover it up sort of like this, then it would look a little bit nicer. And you can actually replace this stuff right here with whatever blocks you want, just like that. You can cover it up, and there's probably a little bit better of a way to do this, but this works pretty well for what we're trying to get done here. Now you can add a switch which will shut this off. If we go over here, we can put a switch right there. We activate it. You can see that if we were to put redstone here, it will actually activate everything, and you'll see this redstone signal is off and the gate is closed. Now if you have any entities on here, there we go. So now we have an entity on there, this redstone lamp. If we were to unpower the lever, it'll still be locked because there's an entity on here, which means that you would have to kill any skeletons on there, which means if you accidentally hit the lever, then it could cause a problem. Another thing, if we were just to break this real quick, you can put a redstone lamp there, and every time that is activated, the redstone lamp will turn on. So that is sort of a visual thing to see if it's on or not. It's just this redstone lamp, and the reason it works is because the redstone goes in there. Now if you do that and you have this lever like this, you will want to change the redstone a little bit so that it fits a little better. If you were to turn it on like that, it will still power the redstone lamp, but if we didn't have it like that, you can see nothing. If you don't want this lever to power it so that it will block it off and activate all the system, you just want it to close the fence gate, all you gotta do is run it down a little bit like this. You have a piece of redstone there, Peter running into it like that, and just like that, you've got it all done. If we activate the lever, you'll see it powers everything. This is now off, the fence gate is closed, but if you were to unpower it, it opens back up. Even if there's an entity on there, if we were to throw that in there, it is technically on there, but if we do that, it'll close it, but it won't activate anything. Now this design is a little bit different. As you can see, the spawning room is down here, which means that since this, you have to be within a 16 block area of this, you need to be as close to this as possible to make it spawn. If you had it just outside, like right down here, you don't have as much space to walk around and do anything without it being unloaded. So if you were to transport them with this pipe, which if I go down here, I can show you, it'll push them all towards the middle like normal, but it'll also go down this way, and they'll be bobbing up and down like this, and as soon as they get here, they'll be pushed against the wall, taken all the way up, and they'll flow this way, like this skeleton, which I did not expect to see. And if it was open, which I think I have it turned off, if we were to open it up, we'll see the skeleton will actually drop in. As you can see, that's powered. We let it go. There it goes, it drops in. Perfect. And this has glass here because it does look kind of nice, and since this isn't like at the spawn room, obviously you wouldn't put glass as your floor. They're not actually going to spawn. If we do set to night, I think they will start spawning. Make it really dark. There we go, we got a skeleton spawning. You can see he's going to go into the little tunnel. Go into spectator mode, we can actually see this a little better. Goes against the wall, it's all the way up. It's going to go up this way, and it's going to go right in here. And if we want, all we gotta do, we can test this out now. He drops in, press the button. You can see the redstone lamp turned on because it's activated. We already got our sword ready. They're going to burn until they're down to 1 health. There we go. Now if we just hit them, even just with our fist, they'll actually be killed. There we go. And we can get all sorts of stuff from it. See, all the skeletons are dead, and it now turns off. More skeletons are going to spawn and drop in, I think. But one thing you might want to do is you might want to actually bring this up off the floor, like maybe two blocks, or like this, have a block in between, maybe an extra one. And what you can also do is to turn this off, instead of this lever just blocking off the fence gate, you can also like put in like redstone lamps in the ceiling, sort of like this, which I'm sure people have done before. And also you can probably put one just like that, put a solid block, redstone, running all of these. Just wire them up real quick. You can see if we wire all of these up and get a lever, that, we can actually turn this thing off. Mostly, you probably might have to put in some more redstone lamps and stuff, but if we do this, that's not the best looking for. Even if all these were blocks instead of glass, you probably want to go up sort of like this and cover it up. And also, if we go over here, you can see that there are no hoppers underneath here because we're right on the ceiling. So if you brought it up a few blocks, you can put some hoppers underneath so that it'll catch all the items. You can't put a hopper underneath this block, underneath this this pressure plate, because since hoppers are a what are they called, a transparent block, then it won't actually act like the comparator won't get the signal from this pressure plate. It might even just get the signal from the hopper, and it might mess things up. Alright, so this is what it would look like, most likely. Your floor level would be here, and you just go down, get into the chest, or whatever. You could even have this go down into a big, long thing of chest and just have a ladder go down. You could have a nice storage system, and also you can put like carpet on top, not pressure plates. But now, if you were to drop anything on top of this pressure plate, any item, it'll get picked up and end up in this chest. If anything falls to the side, it'll get picked up and go in this chest. So this does take a lot of hoppers. There's probably a cheaper way to do it, but this is the best way to do it without it getting clogged up. You probably just have these 2 hoppers going to the chest, and you have all of these running into this hopper minecart. You have a couple running like that. That would use less hoppers, but it would be a little slower with moving items through if you get a bunch of items, especially with bows, because bows take up a whole inventory slot. They don't stack. So you might have items on here, and you'll probably have to pick them up and move them, or just wait. Now to test out all of this, we can actually put in quite a few skeletons. If we press F3, we have 19. So we now have 20 skeletons in here. Now nothing is activated, but as soon as one more falls in, you can see everything activates. If we were to put a redstone lamp on top of this, you'll see it activates. And then if we press the button, they all burn in lava. And this normally wouldn't be, of course it wouldn't be a redstone lamp, it would run into your fence gate, but because this is just the very minimal redstone that you need, by the way, there are just some barriers here, then we just have a redstone lamp to show it. And now that all of them have taken some damage, we get our sword. We can just hit them with one punch. You can use a wooden sword even, but if we just get our sword in here, we get a bunch of XP and a bunch of items. Everything goes off, redstone lamp goes off, and that will allow more skeletons in if it was hooked up to a fence gate. I hope this tutorial helped you out. It was a bit of a complex redstone mechanism. This is the most complex I've done so far. But if this helped you out, then please leave a like and leave a comment if it works out for you. And if there are any problems, also leave a comment and I'll see if I can help you out through your problems. But that's all for me. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.